How to Trade Forex, Lecture 21. This lecture is really a continuation of Lecture 20, in which we've been looking at how to defend trades that go wrong. We covered the basic defences in Lecture 20, and this lecture just makes a few additional points that you may want to take note of. In the same way as we can vary the distance away from our original trade that we decide to put defensive action into place, we can also vary the defensive action within the equal and opposite order defense technique. One way of doing this is to split the defensive trade limit orders. So in this buy trade example, you can see that I'm defending a volume 1 buy trade, but I've decided to split the defense into two levels, two equal levels that add back to volume 1. The advantage of this could be that the first defensive order might be triggered and the second defensive order might not be triggered. And therefore, if I'm only actually having to manage the one of those two defensive trades, there's a good chance that if the price or when the price gets above the buy trade, I can actually manage my way out of the situation more quickly and also possibly more profitably. Now I've used that split of two volume 0.5 defensive trades just for illustration. It could be that, for example, you go to a third one, so I still like to see them adding up to the volume 1 in this example, but here I've used 3 trades to do it. So going back to a nice simple situation here, we've got a buy trade being defended by an already triggered sell trade of volume 1, which has got a take profit order in it. So I'm waiting in this circumstance to be able to manage these two trades, to move them closer together and to eventually eliminate both of them in profit. However, I've also decided to put in position a take profit on the buy trade. So now, whichever way the market actually moves, I'm managing these two trades as equal trades. I don't mean in terms just of equal volume, I mean of equal significance. So neither trade is now really the original trade, neither trade is now the defending trade. They're just two trades that need to be managed. But what happens, for example, if the market suddenly goes in one strong direction away from these two trades? And in this example, it happens to be that the market has moved down further. Well, the trades that we've already got in place are happily waiting for us to be able to manage them. And the difference between these two trades could be anything. Let's take the £10 example that we've been working with so far. Now that's a tiny part of my equity, and it shouldn't worry me with that difference being there to stop trading until I put them right. There's no reason I need to do that. So we've now got a good market change in the price. It's gone well down. I've checked all of the other circumstances around making a decision to trade in terms of the pivot lines and Jeff's lines and the rule of thirds, etc., the news, and I've decided that everything is right and I would make another trade. And I can do that. Absolutely nothing to stop me doing it. In this particular case, the trade is a buy trade, and when I get to my predetermined profit level, I simply take that profit and hey presto, we're done. So I've made some money. I haven't had to disrupt the defending trades that I have above this, and we'll just continue on with the world. Now we can still trade, but I would like to say that I would not want to get this to be too complicated. So for example, had that extra trade gone wrong, I would have had to defend it in the same way as I'm defending the original buy trade. And if I'd done it yet again, it could be the same situation. So I could end up with a very complicated trading screen here with far too many trades on, and all of them using up more and more of my precious volume. So the continuation trades are something I would only want to do preferably once, and I might be tempted by a very, very good situation to do it twice. But that said, there's no reason why you shouldn't continue trading at all. And I just want to mention this. Do not be tempted So we have a situation here where we've got both of the trades defending each other. We've got the take profits in place, and we're all ready to manage them to move them further apart. But there's been a big move downwards on the price. What we could be tempted to do here is to take the profit on that sell trade. If we did that, we, yes, would have some profit in our equity bank, but we'd have a much bigger loss on the original buy trade. And we'd only have to put in another sell trade defensive order anyway. And the position becomes very much more difficult to understand, to keep tabs on, and to manage our way out of. So please don't be tempted to do that. Let's look at what happens potentially if we do get tempted by this. The market may move down, and we've taken our profit on the trade, and the loss that results, because there's now no defending trade in position, is unlimited and potentially very, very large. To illustrate how the equal and opposite defense method actually works, I'm going to provide an example. And I'm using the live trading experiment from the forextradermagazine.co.uk website. This started in January of 2014 and ran without having to use any defense method until October of 2014. At that point, we put in a buy trade, and that buy trade actually experienced some problems in that the price dropped quite significantly below it. And therefore we've been using the equal and opposite defense method to manage our way through this. The exercise is not completed at the time of this recording, and therefore we'll be adding to the video that we make for whatever period of time it takes. That video will appear as the next in this series within Module 4. Keep your eye on this, because as we do change the positions and open and close trades, the video will be extended. Finally, I've mentioned a couple of times over the training so far the gap. If we get a gap in prices, so a big move suddenly, perhaps over the weekend or on some significant news, it can create a gap, and that gap could nullify our defense, or it could completely jump over the defense and just run us away into an increasing loss situation. Now that's very rare, very, very rare indeed, but just something to keep at the back of your mind. It's also a good reason why I like to keep the distance between my original trade and my defending trades as short as I possibly can live with.